Hello everyone, Audie here from 𝕣𝕖𝕧𝕚 and I'm here with NerdTube.
Hello people of the internet.
And today we are here to watch Alien Romulus, the brand new Alien film in the franchise, directed by Fede Alverez. And yeah, this is one of my most anticipated films of the year, because as much as there's some duds which we'll get into a little bit later on with some of the films in the franchise. Obviously, I consider the first two films absolute classics. I did rewatch the first two, Alien and Aliens. I tried to do like a marathon, but it didn't work out. So I ended up watching Alien one night and then Aliens a couple nights later. But anyway, so I rewatched them, and then I watched Alien 3 for the first time, and that was and then couldn't get past Alien Resurrection. But we'll get into that once we talk about our thoughts, which won't take long for NerdTube, because I don't want to speak on his behalf, but he hasn't got that much knowledge on the franchise. But
No.
Yeah, so I'm going to let him go first with his thoughts on the franchise so far, and then we're going to get into our before thoughts on Alien Romulus. So I'm going to pass on to NerdTube now, and he's going to share his thoughts on the Alien franchise. Alright, Arthur Morgan, go first.
Very amusing. Yeah, as Ollie said, I don't know too much about the franchise because I've only ever watched the first Alien and the Alien vs Predator films. So I don't know too much. I know how the aliens work. They are pronounced the xenomorphs, by the way. They're not just called aliens.
The right terminology.
Yeah, that's their species name. Don't get them confused. But yeah, I don't know too much about the Alien franchise because I've not watched that many films, because obviously I've been watching a few others that I've also got interested in. I'm going to try and keep up with the franchise, but as for this one, I've only ever watched the first Alien film, as I stated before, and then the Alien vs Predator films, which I got confused on the lore of, because I saw the first one and was like, And now, yeah, I did hear the third one wasn't quite good.
Here's a nice piece of shit.
It was the film by David Fincher, who was the director of Seven, Zodiac, and the infamous Fight Club. And then there was a recent film he did once called The Killer. But I do like David Finch. I think this one's, Ridley Scott. But the first one, anyway, the first two. And I do like Ridley Scott as a director, because he's made Gladiator, which is my favourite film of all time. I don't know too much about the Alien franchise, as I stated before. I thought the first one was quite good and suspenseful enough. And I think the Alien vs Predator film just kind of ruins the lore for me. But yeah, I'm just really excited for this one. I'm hoping this one is good. Like the Deadpool and Wolverine, Godzilla x Kong were two films that I've really enjoyed, and I'm hoping I enjoy this one because, yeah, it's Alien.
Are you familiar with Fede Alverez, the director?
Yeah, I've heard he's directed a film called Don't Breathe. I've saw that one. It's okay. And the Evil Dead remake, I saw it once and I didn't like it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I prefer the first one. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so anything else to talk about? So you're going to try and check out the other Alien films as well?
At some point, yeah.
Yeah. So the ones that are essential to watch is, of course, the original Alien, and you can watch Aliens, but it's not like really essential. And also Prometheus, which is the prequel, which Ridley Scott also did, and also Alien Covenant, which I'll get into, but I haven't managed to watch that. So yeah, anything else, or
no?
Okay, right. Okay, so my thoughts on the Alien franchise. I've watched, I think there's 9 at the moment, but of 8, because obviously we haven't watched this yet. So out of all of them, haven't watched the 2 AVP films. I think I started watching the first one a while back, but never finished it. It was one of those times I was like, oh, you know what, I'll throw something on, but I wasn't bothered about finishing it, so didn't finish watching the first one. I was going to watch it, but it's fine because it's not essential, so I didn't end up watching it. Annoyingly, I didn't end up starting watching Alien Covenant. I didn't want to start it and then not finish it. Watched the original Alien, directed by Ridley Scott. Fantastic film, one of my favourite films. James Cameron's Aliens really good. Obviously, everyone debates on which is better, Alien or Aliens, because one's like a straight up horror film, really isolated and intense. And then you've got Aliens, which is all action. Just literally, just it is James Cameron, so it's action, guns, just
Blowing shit.
yeah, it's just mental. So a lot of people debate on which is better, the action or the horror. So, but personally, I prefer the horror just a little bit more because obviously I'm a horror buff. So, yeah, I just love the way that Ridley Scott directed it. As much as the guy isn't the most nicest guy in real life, but I mean, I think he's a fantastic filmmaker. But nonetheless, Alien 3, as I very briefly mentioned, I wasn't really a big fan. I'm not so down on it as a lot of other people are. Some fans love it because there's two cuts of the film. There's a theatrical cut and there's an assembly cut, which is kind of the goat cut of the film for many people. And I did watch the assembly cut and I thought it was okay. It wasn't amazing, but one thing that I love about the original 2 is the fact that they use practical effects, animatronics and puppets for the xenomorphs. But in Alien 3, my god, they used CGI, and god, when there's like quick sprints of like a xenomorph running towards someone, you can just see. It's like watching the Star Wars prequels, and you see the awful green screen stuff. God, it does not age well whatsoever. So I love something that I love about the original 2 is the practical effects, and Alien 3 really doesn't do practical effects whatsoever. It's just so it does not age well whatsoever. Alien Resurrection, watched like maybe the first 20 minutes of it, maybe if that, and I was just, I don't know, I might try and watch it at some point, but at that point I won't spoil it for you, in case you actually want to watch them. But at that point, not only was I like burnt out on the, like, I don't know why, I was like, Alien is great, and then Alien 3 was like, oh, it's alright, and then by the time Resurrection, in terms of storyline, it was just like, it's getting a bit ridiculous now. Like, if you know the films, you know the films, but like Resurrection, in my opinion, I just felt it was just like, come on, it's getting too much now. I think the end of Aliens was perfect, and also Alien, like, some people like to canon the first one, the ending to be perfect, and then some people prefer the ending of Aliens to be perfect. But yeah, I'm not going to get into too much details because obviously NerdTube hasn't watched any the Aliens or any other ones. So yeah, loved the first 2. Alien 3 was and then Resurrection I'll try and tolerate watching at some point. And then I watched Prometheus yesterday, a very controversial film in the franchise. It's more philosophical. It's not so much leaning towards the xenomorphs. They play a very small part at the end, which I won't say much. But yeah, it's very much about life and how it came about, and again, philosophical stuff. And I'm like, I liked what Ridley Scott was trying to do. I can appreciate what you're trying to do, but personally, until I rewatch it, I might respect it more. But it was okay. I think I gave it like a 6 or 7, I think, out of 10. But yeah, I thought it was okay. And unfortunately, I didn't manage to have time to watch Alien Covenant, which is the second prequel that takes place after the events of Prometheus. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. I haven't watched the AVP films, but that doesn't really matter. It's kind of a side. It's between Alien and Predator. It's not really, it's kind of its own kind of universe, dare I say, but it's not required to watch, obviously, with Romulus. So coming into Alien Romulus, I am excited because Fede Alverez, because if it was just any other director, I would have been like, I don't know, like, it's just another one. But then as soon as I heard that Fede Alverez, director of Evil Dead, the remake, 2013 remake, and Don't Breathe, I was like, oh, this is going to be mental, even before the trailer came out. And when the trailer came out and I watched it, I was like, holy shit, this is like really intense, because love Evil Dead, the remake, and that's quite controversial as well. Some people love it, some people hate it, they just love the original, which I can respect. But I liked the different approach on the era. I mean, obviously, I do think the original is better, but I do like the new approach that Fede Alvarez does with the Evil Dead remake. And then Don't Breathe I did watch the other day with my dad, actually. He hadn't watched it. I was like, oh, should we watch this? It's got Stephen Lang, who's in Avatar. He plays the blind guy, and I was like, yeah, we could watch it. And it was okay. It wasn't anything special. So, and I know he's done I think it's the sequel to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I haven't watched that yet. It's a sequel. I forgot what it's called. But I haven't watched that because I hadn't watched the original. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Fede Alvarez as a filmmaker. I think he's great at what he's done so far. I mean, with Evil Dead especially. And I'm really interested to see what he has for the Alien Romulus film to be like. I'm really interested to see what he has to serve for this film. I'm sure it's going to be gory. It's going to be really intense, messed up, and just... I heard the ending for this film. I don't know the ending. I'm glad I don't. But I heard this ending is fucked up. So it's very controversial as well. A lot of people liked it. Some people weren't too much of a fan of it. So I'm hoping I'm on the end. It's like, oh, that's really good. Or unless, you know, we'll see. But fingers crossed.
I bet you any money that at least one character is going to survive at the end of the film.
Yeah, that's kind of how it really goes, really. But yeah, I'm excited. I've been hearing, luckily, for the vast majority of all the reviews. I've tried to avoid the reviews, but mainly because I didn't want to see if there were any negatives, and also I wanted to see on my own based opinion. But luckily, everything I've heard is pretty much really positive from all the people that I watch on YouTube. And I can trust them enough to be like, okay, it's more likely I'm going to like it than I won't like it, but we'll see. So yeah, Alien Romulus, really excited. I guess we'll leave it there, because I don't know how long we've got. So we've got 10, 15, 25 minutes, so we've got a while, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm fingers crossed I end up liking it. Hopefully the ending won't be, you know, hopefully I'll like the ending and not be offended by it or anything. I don't know why I would be offended, but we'll see. But yeah, that's my before thoughts on Alien Romulus and my thoughts on the Alien franchise. Again, I'll try and watch them all because I want to rank them in a separate video. I mean, I can't guarantee it will happen, but I'd like to get a ranking out for all the films, including the AVP films. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Alien Romulus and the franchise as a whole. So yeah, I think... I mean, we might see you in the cinema beforehand, because we might walk in, because we did it with, like, Furiosa. Yeah, so we're going to head off, and we might see you in the cinema beforehand, but if not, we'll see you on the other side, and again, fingers crossed, we will enjoy this film. So, yeah, we'll see you then. Okay, we're going in. We got popcorn. Got your popcorn, got, what was it, Pepsi?
Yeah, I got Pepsis. I got a shit ton of crunchies in my bag. Yep. I'm ready to go.
Thank you, good sir. No one is here once again. Alright, D6 and 7. C, D, 6 and 7.
Oh, you're Back to the Future playing.
Back to the...
It never gets old, I swear to God. If they ever make a remake of Back to the Future,
3.
even with Tom Holland in, I'm gonna shit my pants angry. Because I'm not a big fan of Tom Holland. And the reason for that is because he plays the exact same role in every film, only one. The awkward teenager. I mean, if you look closely at the detail, you'll understand what I mean.
Alright, so, yeah, it's not really much to talk about because we've pretty much spoken about everything, but, just thought we'd...
Yeah, I'm just making fun.
Yeah, right. So we, ironically, out of the 2 times that we're just us two without Rusty, it's the same screen. Godzilla X Kong, and then Furiosa, now we got...
Aquaman.
Oh yeah, Aquaman as well, oh my god, yeah, Aquaman, I've got that. And then we've got, now Alien Romulus, so that's 4?
Yeah, about 4 or 5.
4 or 5 times now. I'm just like, oh my god. I mean, it's a good screen. I like this room. I like the chairs, because two of the screens in the cinema have chairs that are just chairs like this, where it's just literally, you know, when you get the ones that go back, I just don't like them that much. I prefer these ones where they stay still, and you got cup holders, which kind of are just there. Rather, I mean, the cup holders are better because they won't fall over and they're in a secure position. But the chairs, on the other hand, are like much better chairs, because you have to worry about moving back or anything, and having the seat kind of going up and down. So yeah, so 2 of the screens have these kind of chairs, screen 2 and 3 I think, and then screens 1 and 4 have those ones that kind of rock back and forth. So yeah, don't have much else to say. Hopefully you can actually hear me over this music. But yeah, don't have much else to say. Anything you want to say?
I'm gonna enjoy myself.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully it's worth coming. So yeah, we will see you on the other side.
Sayonara. The fuck was that ending?
Okay.
Gotta go piss.
Yeah. That's my reason.
I gotta go to the toilet.
Right.
A few moments later.
Right. Yeah, you're waiting for my reaction, aren't you? You want me to go first?
If you really want to.
Not much to say. But I really liked the score. Thought that was grand. Well, the story, it was basic, but then the ending disappointed me. Like when you first recorded that bit. I don't have too much to say at the moment because I've not really processed it properly. I'm really sorry.
It's fine, because we're gonna head out and
Carry on.
yeah, try and think. Yeah, I mean, I have things to say as well,
Yeah.
which might... Yeah, I recognise some things from another film that might relate to that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, huh? So, we'll meet you outside and, yeah, see you there. Okay, we made it out alive. I don't know, I don't know why I said that. So, even though I'm going first, Nerdy wants me to go first because even he is still processing what he just saw. Now, positives. Really liked the way it was shot. I saw, I'll put on the screen now, but like I mentioned, before thoughts. What I loved about Alien and Aliens, they used practical effects, they used animatronic xenomorphs, which is really cool. I'm really glad they did that. And then characters, the only one that I really sympathised with the most was Andy. So, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in my before thoughts. If I haven't, then I'll say it now. But I heard before coming to this, there was going to be a controversial bit near the end of the film in the third act. And now I'm still trying to figure out I was like, when something happened, there was I was like, oh god, is that it? And then I was going to wait to see if there's something else that was going to happen. And I was like, oh shit. So it's like, which one, I'm still thinking on what that which thing was really controversial. I don't know if it's one thing, I don't know if it's several things, but right, so there's something that happens at the end. Screw it, we're going to do spoilers because I can't not say anything and not kind of hint at it. So if you may have seen, I may have to turn up the brightness, but when the credits rolled, obviously I panned to Nerdy when he said, the fuck was that ending? The reason for that is because there's this thing that happens. It's like this kind of, I think it's something to do with Prometheus. There's this thing that comes out of because there's one of the characters that are pregnant, and near the end of the film, does she get face hugged? No, she. What the fuck did happen? No, really. What actually? Like, how did? I don't. I'm trying to remember now. I'm not. Well, she was trapped. Wasn't she? Oh, yes, that's her, isn't it? So she got trapped in that room, which is the first thing that I thought was controversial when the chip was changed to the other thing. I can't remember what you called it, but they had to change Andy's chip, who's the black guy, who's Rain, who's 𝕾𝙻𝙻𝙸𝙴's character. They have to change his chip because he kind of malfunctions, let's just say. And when they change it, they don't realise that the chip is actually from another crew member that had previously passed. Is that right? And it turns out that the chip that they put in him was, in the first, it's hard to explain, but he kind of turns on them in a way, Andy does. So obviously this is when they change the chip. So God, when he changes, things happen, things take a turn, and it's not particularly his fault. They didn't know, and it's kind of a bit of a weird situation. So he does things that revolve around the company that they're stealing from. So the basic story premise, the line is basically that these group of friends that live on this planet, that they have a shit life basically, and basically the main character, Rain, played by 𝕾𝙻𝙻𝙸𝙴, I believe her name is, she wants to get this, didn't she, like, at the start, didn't she want like this job, and she didn't have enough credits or something, so she had to go do something else, but she was like, oh, she's not having it. So the only way that they want to, basically one of the guys heard that there's this abandoned spaceship in space that has really good weapons, I think, and they end up going on, and they don't realise that on that ship is face huggers and potential xenomorphs and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, positives, really well shot. God, it's really I don't really know I don't know how to work. I'm so conflicted. I don't really know. There was this massive cock on board that he just wanted to die immediately. He's being addicted to Andy, and Andy is, of course, if people haven't watched it, he's an android. So, he's not exactly in the right shape. He's basically Rain's brother. And one of the crew members decides to be an absolute twat and just, is a massive dick to him, and it's just like, come on. And thankfully he dies. So yeah, sorry if I'm going all over the place. I'm just still kind of processing what I just watched, the ending, and I don't know. There's something. I think it's Prometheus related. I haven't had a search through yet, because I know there's going to be like spoiler talk and like all the plot details and stuff out there, so I definitely need to read on that later. But I'm sure that person that was birthed out of Mrs. I forgot her name. Do you remember her name?
I don't know, pregnant woman?
Yeah, the pregnant woman. When it came out, it was this kind of human, alien, weird thing. I have a feeling it has something to do with Prometheus, and I think it has something to do with that dude. Obviously, I know you haven't watched Prometheus, but there's that dude at the beginning and near the end of the film. I don't know, it's weird, which is why I wasn't the biggest fan of Prometheus, and I kind of see why now it's kind of controversial at the end, because it kind of involves Prometheus. It kind of spins in it, because premise the film, it's kind of like Alien, the original, and then near the end when Matey shows up, it's kind of looking at Prometheus in a way. So I don't know, I think I'm gonna have to let NerdTube talk, if that's alright, and then we'll try and discuss something together and try and think of a rating at the end. I don't know if you already have a rating in mind, but I don't know. I still need to work out what I watched and what the ending was. Like, I feel stupid because I know that people are going to be watching this being like, what are you on about? It means that. But I haven't watched Covenant. I don't know if it has anything to do with that creature thing that came out of her. I don't know. I mean, the kills were cool. Again, well shot. The acting wasn't awful, wasn't brilliant, but I don't know. It was weird. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to let NerdTube talk because I don't want to go on for too long because this video is going to be like 40 minutes long. So yeah, if you don't mind, I'm going to pass it on to NerdTube and see what he says, and hopefully we can kind of get something together. So yeah, pass it on to NerdTube, and yeah.
I don't know what the fuck I just watched. But I liked the first act. I liked how they built it up. And yes, one of the characters was a massive cock. I thought his death was satisfying. I wanted to cheer when that 𝙾𝙻𝙻𝙸𝙴 just disintegrated. I can't remember any of the characters' names, except Andy, of course, because that's how much I care about them. The third act was just all over the place and felt weak and sudden. The second act actually did feel like an actual horror film, and it actually made sense. Well, for me anyway, I felt satisfied. And yes, it was well shot. I liked the practical effects. I liked that there were some things that were actually practical and not just CGI. I really liked that, and I think that's how a horror film should feel. It should feel real. Some of the characters I liked, yes. Well, I felt... Well, I liked, smart Andy. I'm going to call him that from now on. I wasn't so much sure about dumb Andy. Dumb Andy was just more childlike. He didn't know what he was doing, except from the part where, like, he was going to go, yeet, shooting down an alien, because, of course, he has to allow one of the female characters to survive at the end of the story. Typical. I think the only reason they brought the Prometheus thing was just an excuse to extend the ending. I think the pregnant woman was just an excuse to extend the ending again. And then there was just... Okay, imagine Slender Man, but without his clothes and a tail. That's the ending monster at the end. That's what comes out of her at the end, because she injected herself with a serum that gone wrong. Another excuse to extend the ending. The ending, I was so disappointed with. I was so confused. Like, is she going to... Are you going to let this character die, or are you not? Is the alien going to win, or are they not? It's like, it's almost as like the film can't make up its own mind of what they can do or what they can't do, which characters are going to live or which characters are not. Is Andy going to be actually smart and logical, or is he not? You gotta understand what I'm saying. It's almost as if the screenwriters and the people behind the scenes didn't know what to do, and like they had to shoehorn all of this into one go. And that's the thing I feel like is the weakest part of the film. They just don't seem to know what they're doing. They can't seem to decide what they want or what they don't want. I mean, there are some few good things in it. But but like, to me, there's like a lot of bad, like, a lot of, I don't know how to say this without being too negative, because I feel like I'm just attacking the film at this point, and I don't really want to. But there was one scene I think is my favorite in the film, and there's like this scene with like lots of face huggers in the dark. It explains that they can detect heat signatures, although they can't see. And they can hear sounds, which makes sense. You know, because it's like a scene that actually makes sense and doesn't give any excuses. It actually feels like an actual tense scene, because it already introduced how much of a bigger threat they were a few scenes before. Overall, I just think this film is meh. And okay. It's not bad, but it's not good. It's just in the middle for me.
The thing is, like I said, the Prometheus, I think it is Prometheus that's making it confusing, because first of all, you haven't even seen Prometheus, so
No,
you don't really know.
I don't know what I'm
Which is
talking
probably
about.
why you were like, what the fuck was that, and what was that ending? So I think if you had watched Prometheus, and thing is, I wasn't paying attention fully with Prometheus, so if you had followed through and it would have maybe connected the dots, maybe, which is why I don't want to bash on it too hard, because it might have, the answers may have been there if I had watched Prometheus, and maybe Alien Covenant as well, because I hadn't watched that. So that's probably why. Maybe it's almost like essential to watch those two films.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't, it's kind of like...
Yeah, I felt like they were trying, because from what the information you were trying to give me, I feel like they're just trying to connect the dots into one film. That's what I feel like. And I feel like they're just trying so hard to put all these ideas together that in the end, it just feels uncomfortable. It feels a lot of mixed feelings with the audience. Like once the film finished, like you heard me even say, and someone even laughed in front of in front of the audience, and when I said, "What the fuck was that ending?" But that's like my reaction to the ending itself, like the third act. I think the third act, for me personally, was my least favorite bit of the film. I mean, like the first and second act, yeah, it's good. It's strong enough for me to enjoy it. But like the third act, yeah, I think that's my least favorite part of the film. But overall, good practical effects, great cinematography, banging score. Which, did you know that he actually scored for The Flash and the It films?
Okay.
Yeah. I really like his score, to be honest. I think if I ever get into like doing a feature-length horror film, I would love to have him as my score. Because he sort of reminds me of another artist named Ennio Morricone. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
What's he done?
He's done the spaghetti westerns known as, you would have heard this, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly.
Oh yeah.
I like that kind of music in horror film. Yeah, banging score, great practical effects, great cinematography, but just overall weak third act.
Do you have a score yet? A rating?
Either 5 or 6 out of 10.
Oh yeah, so yeah, when you watch all the films,
Yeah,
well,
do your homework.
Yeah, when you watch Prometheus, when you know all the stuff that happens on rewatch, maybe, I don't know, maybe that'll change. But from just this first watch and not understanding the full story, maybe that's why it's controversial, which is why people were like, "Oh God, why did they do that?" Or,
Yeah.
I think when I get back home, I'm gonna definitely have research through the ending, especially this film, and see what I missed, because I feel like I missed something, because I know people in the comments are going to be like, oh, like, what didn't you get? It's like, like again, wasn't, at least for the first time watchers of now, I wasn't a big fan of Prometheus, didn't understand many things, so I have a bad feeling that I missed something from Prometheus, and that has been incorporated into this film, Romulus, and has kind of, I don't know, it's, God, I'm going to look back on this and be like, that stupid idiot, like, why? This is genuinely my reaction, and I don't really know what to say, because I don't have the full picture, I don't know what happened at the end, and that's kind of just, because from the beginning I was intrigued, I liked a lot of the stuff, and then by the end I was just like, what do I say? What did you give it, 5 or 6?
Yeah, 5 or 6.
What are you more leaning towards, just to get a...
5.
A 5. A
Yeah.
5 out of 10. I'll go 6. I'll go 6, just to be kind of...
Yeah.
3-star. Like, I don't know if I can give it a rating until I know what happened, because I don't want to be confused and then looking at it, oh, actually, that was quite clever, or I might be like, oh, actually, no, that's awful. So, until I know, I don't know, but just to give a rating out now, I'll give it a 6. I'll give it a 6 for now. Like, if you're an Alien fan, I would say go watch it. If you've watched, I would say watch as many of the films you can, especially Prometheus and potentially Covenant. I don't know exactly if Covenant has a particular reason behind this film, but I definitely know that Prometheus has, so that's probably the reason behind the ending with that fucking thing coming out. So Yeah.
Fucking thing coming up.
So, yeah, I don't know what else we can say. I don't want to ramble for too long because, first of all, I don't really know what else to say. Again, great practical effects, actually really good practical effects, really well shot. Directing was interesting. Again, I need to look into the ending, so I know in the future I'm going to look at this review, because I do obviously look back on these reviews and be like, oh, okay, that's my only thoughts. And then I'm going to look back on this film review and be like, that fucking idiot. But this is my honest initial thoughts on the film. That I don't know. So yeah, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 for now, until I know what the fuck was going on. So yeah, if you like this review, please give it a like. Please comment your thoughts on Alien Romulus if you've given it a watch, and let us know what you thought of the film, particularly the ending, like the controversial stuff. Like, did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you not get it? And yeah, we appreciate your thoughts. Like, we'd love to have a conversation down in the comments and discuss and debate our opinions. Like, but this is obviously probably when this video comes out, I'll hopefully research the ending and see what actually happened. Because right now I feel like a fucking idiot, because it's like, what the hell happened? So I'd say, if you've watched Alien, Prometheus, potentially Covenant as well, I don't know what to say because I haven't researched too much. So yeah, if you've watched the prequels and Alien, and I'd say Aliens as well, then go watch it, because if you've retained all the information, then you'll probably know what's up. But you know, yeah, I'm gonna go now, as I've already said, and NerdTube as well, because we don't really know what else to say. So 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Yeah, it's a shame. Like, I was expecting to be like, oh my god, that ending, holy shit. No, I was just like, is that the thing from Prometheus? Is that relating to? I was like, I don't know. This is gonna be a weird review because I don't know. I'm gonna look like an idiot, but this is my honest reaction. This is my honest thoughts. So yeah, I mean, am I glad I've came? Yes, I always love coming and watching films with NerdTube and Rusty. So you know, it was worth coming out. But I mean, until I see what that ending was and what the whole film was really about, and you know, connecting all the dots, hopefully I'll be like, okay, yeah, or either. But until I know an answer, I can't really give my full take on it. So again, great cinematography, all that kind of stuff, as I already said earlier. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. I don't really know what it's going to be. Do you know anything coming up?
I'll take a look and tell you.
Yeah. So with that being said, like this video if you enjoyed. Comment again your thoughts on this film if you've watched it. Let us know your thoughts on the Alien franchise as a whole. Give us your ranking of the franchise. And yeah, God, it's so weird. Like, I wish I had more to say. I wish I enjoyed it more. I wish I had more to say, but I don't, which it's a bit ridiculous, but it is what it is. So yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Sayonara.
Cheers.